Welcome in, everybody, to the RSN Zone. Michael Brenner here along with Matt Skura as we get set for some action here from the Athletic Performance Factory. Plenty of games going on. It is sectional Friday here around the state of Indiana, and more importantly here in Northwest Indiana as well, in the region, as we're going to bring you some of these updates all over the place. We've got plenty to talk about from Class 1A all the way to Class 6A. Games in progress as we speak, so we'll bring you what we've got so far as the night continues to roll on. Before we get into this, though, Matt, what are your thoughts about going into this sectional championship Friday? Who are some of the favorites that we're looking at? What are some matchups you're looking for? Are you kind of previewing a little bit about regionals a little bit?
Well, now that we got some games going and stuff and we've been watching the games, it's kind of like you're sitting back and not thinking as much about it. But, you know, it's nice to see because you as a team are playing and you kind of – maybe you're not so much scoreboard watching as the fans are scoreboard watching to see if you can have a home game for regionals as opposed to, you know, being on the road and having to travel, especially in 6A or something like that, having to travel to Fort Wayne or in 1A or 2A driving all the way across the state because everything's so spread out.
Yeah, it's one of the things as you get further and further into this, further and further into these tournaments, whether it's football or basketball or volleyball or soccer or whatever you're talking about, the further and further you get, the farther and farther you might have to drive when you don't have those home games. So that plays a big factor in this as well. Obviously, the other sports, there's designated locations already preset before the tournament gets started, but here is all based in football. It's all based on, you know, matchups and who had a home game last week versus this week and all that kind of stuff. So we'll keep you updated on all that. We'll let you know where teams may be, but we got to get through these games first here for sectionals. Let's take a look at Class 1A, Sectional 41. First off, you've got West Central taking on LaVille. LaVille looking for their first sectional championship, their seventh sectional championship in program history, first since 2023. They are up on West Central 28-25. Over in sectional 42, again, Class 1A, you've got Pioneer taking on Carroll Flora, and Pioneer is up 31-7. I'm on ISO, I guess. Is it just me here right now? Just reading? Okay, thank you for letting me know. So it is Pioneer up 31-7 at last update. They're looking for their 13th sectional championship in program history and the first since 2020. So that's Class 1A. So the way we tell these matchups here is that, you know, when we look at 41 and 42, and these two matchups will face each other in regionals. Now again, so if LaVille does get the win, and it would be Pioneer who got the win, we're just speculating here. These games are in the half and in the third quarter. So if LaVille were to win and Pioneer were to win, if the scores hold, Pioneer would be hosting in regionals. Is that correct?
Yeah, I believe so, because LaVille's at home, Pioneer's away, you know, which interesting thing is, you know, West Central, they're up to 11th in the coaches poll. LaVille isn't ranked. Pioneer's ranked 3rd. Carroll's ranked 12th in the coaches poll. So you got 3 out of the 4 teams that are ranked in that region area. You know, Pioneer's pretty much been dominating everybody every year.
Yeah.
Pioneer was ranked 7th or 8th at the time, and they just blew out North Judson, who was ranked 2nd, you know, earlier in the year. But Pioneer's been on a roll lately. You know, West Central's been beating up teams pretty good. They're a very young team, you know. And then LaVille, you know, you looked at their record earlier in the year, and you weren't expecting them to do what they've been doing in the sectionals. So, you know, I mean, you probably play a little bit tougher schedule, you know, and that prepares you for the playoffs. You know, you drop down to 2A and you're playing teams your size, you can get away with, you know, having a weaker record, I guess you could say. You know, I mean, 7-4 is not a slouch record, but you know, you got 3 wins, so they were 5-4 going into the playoffs.
Yeah, that's one of the things we talk about this with all the sports. One of the benefits for some of maybe those smaller schools is the way the IHSAA sets this up. It is a blind draw technically, so everyone gets a chance. It doesn't matter what your record is. So, you know, you could put the team that maybe should be in the championship versus a team that hasn't won a game, and maybe that team that hasn't won a game. But a lot of times, if you look at those indie schools, they could have a poor record. They could be 1-8 on the year and somehow find themselves in a state championship in a lot of ways because of the competition that they're facing. But at the same time, like, they may not have the best record.
Wait, yeah, you speak of that, and I think that reminds me. I think it was either the 2005 season or the 2006 season. Griffith played Northwood in the semi-state. Northwood was 3-6 going into the tournament, and they ended up going to the state championship game.
And not playing like a 3-6 team,
right?
As tough as maybe a 3-6 team might be. So that's one of the weird things about this, and some people like it, some people don't like it, but it is what it is, and this is the way that we're rolling with it, and it gives some of those schools opportunities that based on their records, and I think one of the debates that we have every single year, Crown Point, they have to play in the Duneland Athletic Conference. Would they maybe prefer to play, and they have to play Lowell, and that kind of only leaves week 2 to play a really, really tough opponent and a lot of times they try to pick out of state. Would they like to maybe pick some other schools, maybe down in Indy, to play instead of some Duneland? Of course, they probably would, but you still want to play your Duneland Athletic Conference champion.
Yeah, I mean,
your schools.
It'd be nice. You got like Center Grove. Center Grove's an independent.
Mm-hmm.
So they play teams from Ohio, Cincinnati Elder, who's a perennial power in Ohio. They play teams from Kentucky. They play teams from Tennessee. So they're playing, with the restrictions lifted in Indiana of how far you can travel or be from, your state borders. Now they can start playing these quality teams. I think IMG came up and played Ben Davis. I'm sorry. IMG came up and played Ben Davis last year or 2 years ago or something like that. So now that we got these restrictions lifted, you can play these opponents that are, quality. Maryville playing Loyola Academy.
Yeah.
And things like that, where you can get rid of these weaker opponents or these easy wins, and you can get quality opponents. You may take a loss, but you're gauging where you're at.
Well, and again, these losses at the end of the year, I mean, as long as your team is playing the way you want them to play at the end of the year, it really doesn't matter. And that's okay. There's nothing – the way this is formatted right now, there's nothing wrong with that. So it's interesting to see how this will continue to play out over years, and now, kids can transfer to school. So we'll see how this all plays out, and going to lead to changes maybe down the road at some point, and we'll roll with those punches as well. We'll find out how things transition, and that's one of the best things about sports. It is ever evolving, and we get to watch that evolution in real time. I don't know if Justin has a comment for us.
Yeah. We have a Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update. It is 14-0 Michigan City in the second quarter. That is currently going on with 10 minutes left, again, in second quarter. And then Crown Point and Penn just went to the half. It is currently 14-7. The Penn Kingsmen up on top of the Bulldogs.
Good stuff. All right. Man, we barely got out of sectional 1. We got on a good yap session. Now we got to move on to some other ones here. We got sectional. It was class 1, sectional 41 and 42. Now we've got class 2A, sectional 33 and 34. Again, the winners of these two games will play each other. Let's still go out to Rensselaer Central, 10-time sectional champions. Last one, 2014. They are taking on our Andrean 59ers, who won sectionals last year, as many of you know, 22 times now. And they're looking for their 23rd here tonight. They are currently up 14-0 at last update. I believe that was in the first, probably going to the second at this point or soon. So 14-0 for the Andrean 59ers. We've said it since the onset of the season. If there is a team that is most likely to make their way down to Indianapolis from Northwest Indiana, might be the Andrean 59ers.
Yeah, I mean, they're doing it defensively. To me, you watch these games, they get up a touchdown, and it's like they're up 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The way the defense has been playing. I mean, they're lighting it up on defense. Defense has caused 13 turnovers. You got 2 underclassmen leading the team in tackles, especially with tackles for losses and everything like that. So nothing but good things happen for Andrean this year and looking into next year also.
So that is 14-0, 30-19. Southmont over Lewis Cass. And that is an update since I even wrote things down. So I'm going to update that. I believe that was in the third quarter. Didn't have a chance to look up the quarter on that one. But Southmont, who won their first sectional championship back in 2023. That is their lone sectional championship, by the way. Up 30-19 on Lewis Cass, the Kings of Lewis Cass. So let's send you back to Justin Cole.
Yes, we have a Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update. It is the Hobart Brickies up 14-2 over the Lowell Red Devils at the end of the first quarter. That is currently going on at the Brickyard. We hope to have another update soon from, of course, Andrian and Rensselaer Central, as well as Michigan City, LaPorte. Once something goes on, LaPorte and Michigan City are currently at midfield. So we'll hope to have an update real soon in the LaPorte game.
So if you had a safety on your bingo card, you are a chance to win some money, hopefully, somewhere. I don't know who's sponsoring the bingo cards, but not us. It might be Matt. I don't know. He could have been throwing some stuff out there. I don't know. I didn't see. I wasn't in on this.
Nope,
he's not doing it. All right. But again, Andrean is up. Southmont is up right now. If those scores hold, those two teams would play each other. And this one would be interesting because both those teams are the road teams, so one of them would have to be the host team.
I would believe we can double check here on John Harrell's website. He's got all the scenarios written out, but I believe Southmont would be the home team going into regionals. Just because I think it's a lower sectional, but we can look that up.
Yeah, we'll check into that. So that's just a speculation. No breaking news to report here just yet. We're going to go ahead and move on to sectional. Class 3A sectional 25 and 26. Knox is up 24-6 at last update. We'll keep watching our Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update to bring you these scores. So Knox up 24-6. That is nearing the half, and I believe Andrean has scored again, so that is 21, although there's the scoreboard. It just popped back up. 32-6 now, Knox on top in the third quarter.
So we got an update. Class 2A, Andrean wins there at home no matter what.
Okay. So I believe I just said they were up 21 to nothing right now.
Yes.
So it's first or second quarter. We're still making sure that gets updated here on our Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard updates. We'll double check that for sure. But 21-0 the score for the Andrean 59ers. So win and they get to host regionals, which again that winner would be either Southmont or Lewis Cass. And right now that is the Southmont Mounties.
Unique name there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're Canadian or anything, but the Mounties of Canada. So Knox, as we said, up 32-6 over Mishawaka Marion. Knox looking for their fifth sectional championship, and they have won every year. They've won 3 in a row, 2022 to last year. So they are looking for their 4th in a row, and it would be their 5th in program history if that score holds. Again, we're still working the updates. The games are still in progress. Over in Angola, you've got the Garrett Railroaders and the Angola Hornets. Angola is on the far east side of the state of Indiana, up here in the north region, and it is 14-7 for the Railroaders of Garrett. So they would get the winner of that Knox-Mishawaka Marion game, which if the Railroaders hold on to that, which they won their first sectional last year, if they win that one, they would probably be the host team because they are on the road, and Knox is the home team this week.
Yep. Knox would go to Garrett, and they would host Angola.
Okay. So if Angola were to come back and get a win, which it's only a one-possession game right now, we know that Knox would host if they get Angola. They would travel if they go to Garrett.
Angola defeated Garrett 14-11 in Week 8. So
this is going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on. Yeah, for sure. We were updating other scores. That was still that same. It is 38-7 Pioneer.
Justin has an update. Go to Justin.
Yes, we have a Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update. Lowell just scored a touchdown just moments ago to make the score 14-8 I don't think they got the extra point. I believe it is now in the second quarter. Yes, it is. So 14-8. Lowell Red Devils get a touchdown on the board. We're waiting for that to update on our Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard, but it was up on our audio-only stream, which you can check here on the Region Sports Network. If you want to check out video for any of the games that we have, which is Crown Point at Penn and Lowell at Hobart, the video broadcast will be on the IHSAA Champions Network. We will have links to those on our social media pages if you are interested in watching those individual games.
All right, moving over to Class 4A, Sectional 17 and 18. Sectional 17, Justin just told us about that one. Hobart up 14-8 in the second quarter. We're watching the hometown score, the Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard roll on through, so we can give you these most up-to-date scores based on what we have at the moment. So we're going to take a look at the South Bend St. Joseph Mishawaka Caveman game, and that was 3-0. Mishawaka, no, that's the other one. So Mishawaka and South Bend St. Joseph. That one should be coming up here in a moment. Last I had was South Bend was up 3-0 in the third quarter. Wait for this to roll through here.
Yeah, and, both South Bend, St. Joe, and Mishawaka, their only loss on the season was at Penn. And so, good competition. I think they both play very similar schedules, I think they're in the same conference.
And it's finally rolled over, so Mishawaka is up 7-3 over South Bend St. Joseph. Mishawaka looking for their 18th sectional championship in program history. They have also won 3 in a row, 2022, 23, 24. So looking for their 4th in a row over South Bend St. Joe's.
Yeah, just looking at this, the tougher matchup for our region team, Hobart or Lowell, whoever comes out, will be Mishawaka.
Yeah.
Mishawaka runs an option offense very similar to what Coach Radke used to run, double tight, double wing, option, Navy, Army type option offense, and nobody really runs that anymore. So it's very tough. They're Mishawaka's quarterback and fullback have both run for over 1,300 yards each. So it's going to be a tough task for whoever comes out of that region if Mishawaka's the winner.
But we have seen over the years that Mishawaka is always a team that is tough to beat for any of our region teams, no matter what sport we are talking about. Moving over to Class 5A, Sectionals 9 and 10. The Maryville Pirates all over the Mustangs, 14-0. Maryville looking for their 18th sectional championship in program history. They're looking for their 7th in a row. They have won sectionals going. They have won sectionals going all the way back to 2019. Quite a run for the Maryville Pirates. So 19 all the way to 24.
If Maryville stays in Class 5A in that sectional grouping right there, it's going to be tough for them. They can make a run of, of the Hobart magnitude, where Hobart ran that string of, whatever it was, 15, 16 sectional championships in a row, when they played in that South Bend sectional.
We've got the Michigan City Wolves and LaPorte Slicers out in LaPorte tonight. Michigan City up 14-0 in the second quarter. Both these teams looking for Michigan City, it'll be their 4th sectional championship in program history. LaPorte, I don't know if this was considered a stunner or not last week, defeating Chesterton. If you had looked in the regular season game, obviously Chesterton kind of had their number from the earliest parts of that game, but there were a lot of things to be impressed with LaPorte this season, and especially after not winning a game last year. Like, that's what's been most impressive to me. So I don't know if this would be considered if that was considered an upset or not. I think in Chesterton people were certainly upset by it, but there was a lot of good things happening with LaPorte over the course of the season that were just continuously building over the year.
Yeah, watching the Chesterton-LaPorte game, LaPorte had some key turnovers where they drove down and turned the ball over right at the goal line. They fumbled one time. Chesterton picked it up, scoop and score. So, that game could have very easily gone LaPorte's way the first time around.
Yeah.
And they built up and they got back. They got back at Chesterton. It's always difficult to beat somebody twice in the season. So good things are happening out in LaPorte. They're starting to turn things around. Being where they're at in the Duneland, it's kind of tough to be the top tier team. But
Correct.
if you can get to the middle of the pack and compete for a sectional championship every year, you got to be happy and looking in the right direction.
Well, I will tell you, they have 4 wins this year. They had 4 wins total the last 3 seasons combined. So just shows you what is going on over there in LaPorte. Things are getting better and better and better. And there's a lot to work with, and there's going to be a lot of, in my opinion, this is a team that, maybe not in that Maryville, Crown Point upper echelon yet, but they are certainly moving to that middle tier and maybe towards the top of that middle tier if the progress continues, and there's no reason to think that it won't. So, send you over to Justin Cole.
Yes, we do have a Strack and Van Til hometown scoreboard update. We just had a touchdown scored by the Andrean 59ers to make it 28-0 over the Rensselaer Central Bombers.
And that is in the second quarter, still over there in Rensselaer. So, yeah, we're liking what LaPorte's got going on. Obviously, Michigan City still, they're in that middle tier, upper echelon of the middle tier. Flirting with that upper tier. I mean, there's the upper tier, and then there's Crown Point at the upper tier, I guess, is how we're going to kind of look at this.
And you could almost put, Crown Point's beat Maryville pretty soundly, but you can put Maryville in that.
That upper tier?
Yeah, because I don't think the rest of the Duneland's quite caught up with Maryville either.
Okay, that's fair. I don't have an argument against that.
It's Crown Point, Maryville, then the rest.
Okay.
But you got Crown Point still above Maryville because Maryville hasn't beaten Crown Point, but it's.
Well, one of the things certainly to watch in this LaPorte game is you talked about Chesterton turning the ball over, which I was really high on what Chesterton had, going into this. So if there was a team that I thought might be a little bit of a challenge for them, LaPorte was going to be it because I got to see that regular season game up close and personal, and yeah, there was a lot of things LaPorte was doing well. So Michigan City was another team in the Duneland Athletic Conference that had a lot of those turnovers, that just kind of careless things that cost them some big yardage. They overcame a lot of that over the course of the season, but at the same time, they did that as well. So if LaPorte could capitalize on those types of things, who knows where this game goes? It's only a 2-possession game right now. Interesting to see how the second half plays for the LaPorte Slicers, especially while they're at home. Last updates to tell you about Class 6A Sectionals 1 and 2. You've got the Crown Point Bulldog and the Penn Kingsmen. Penn looking for their 27th sectional in program history, last winning it back in 2023. They are up 14-7 on the Bulldogs in the halftime at the moment. Crown Point looking for their 10th sectional championship in program history. They've won it the last 2 years.
Yeah, and that game has been all defense and big plays.
Yes.
Crown Point, beginning of the game, big kickoff return, scored the first play on offense, 18 seconds in, and then Penn had a big play after a Crown Point punt, 50-something yard run to make it 7-7, and then they had another short punt, short field, and got another big play, missed tackle by the secondary to take the lead 14-7. So, it's going to be a battle the second half, field position game, and whoever has the least amount of mistakes is going to win this game.
So we've got our scoreboard scrolling here on our social media platforms, not to mention here on this RSN zone. We've got the, what do we call it, the quad box going on right now, it looks like, from my vantage point. Yeah, he's got the quad box. He's got all of our, because due to just restrictions that are levied against us, we can only show you the scores. We can't show you the live feed. While we do have our live feeds on our social media platforms, we can't show you them here on this particular video stream. So that's why we have the scores rolling on the box up here, and from where I'm looking at over here and over here.
Yep, so we have Crown Point and Penn up
like
top.
Brady Bunch box,
on the top box. Right, we have Lowell Hobart The bottom left, we have Michigan City and LaPorte. That is the silent scoreboard. And then in the fourth box, it's going to change between the two guys that you see on screen right now, Michael Bradner and Matt Skura. Say hello. I mean, you guys have been on camera the majority of the time, but that's what it's going to look like for right now. Maybe we'll throw in the Strack and Van Til hometown scoreboard in that fourth box as well. We're keeping an eye on this Michigan City-LaPorte game. It's a little bit of technical difficulties with the time, but it is in the second quarter. You're not really missing anything over there. And as a matter of fact, Crown Point and Penn, they just started the second half.
Okay.
14-7. Penn is leading. And I believe Penn is going to start with the ball. Yes. They're going to start with the ball at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, and due to IHSA restrictions, all our video feeds are going to be on the IHSA Champions Network.
Yeah.
Everything.
Sorry,
that
I said social media. Yes.
Yeah, everything that we have on our social media, Facebook, YouTube, is going to be audio only.
Correct. Yes, thank you.
That is correct.
Yep, that is correct.
For all of you that would
looking for it on social media,
looking for it and are questioning why we're don't have any video. This is why, and it's out there. You just got to go to IHSA Champions Network, and then you can find whatever game you want to watch.
And if you want to mute those guys and just listen to us, you can.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably listen to the broadcasters myself. I wouldn't want to listen to me, but that's just me.
And while we're here,
you listen to Justin.
We could shout out the crews that are out at those sites. We have Andrew Mild and Doug Nelson over at Penn. And then at Hobart, we have Leo Stodaker and Jay Simmons. Two fun matchups going on here, at least with the teams that we have in video on the IHSAA Champions Network. That Crown Point Penn game is going to be real interesting going into the second half.
Yeah, and it's not a regional thing or an area thing, but possible semi-state matchup in 6A. Westfield was up on Carmel 17-7 at the half. But, looking at it, for Class 5A, if you go to the regionals, Maryville would be traveling to Michigan City if those games hold out. If LaPorte happens to pull the upset, they would have to go to Maryville to play.
And Strack and Van Til hometown scoreboard updated is Maryville 17-0 over the Munster Mustangs. And one other game that we haven't told you about just yet, over in Fort Wayne, it's a battle of some of the Fort Wayne teams. You got Fort Wayne Carroll and Fort Wayne Northrop, and it is Carroll on top of Northrop. The Bruins of Fort Wayne Northrop, 28-10. Fort Wayne Carroll looking for their 9th sectional championship in program history. Last one last year, so they're looking for another one in program history. So we've run through some of these scores. Again, you can take a look at the Strack and Van Til hometown scoreboard update that is rolling. I'm not sure if that's going to be rolling here on our box at just a moment. Are you switching it over, or you have an update for us, Justin?
We have an update. It is the Andrean 59ers up 35-0 with about 4 minutes left in the first half. They're still in the second quarter. I believe Rensselaer is currently with the ball at about the 25-yard line, and they're trying to move up the midfield.
So the 59ers certainly rolling in their game against Rensselaer Central. So a little different here on the RSN zone. Obviously can't bring you the live footage as we just mentioned, so we can't give you like strict play-by-play updates like we normally would. So kind of just rolling through some scores here as the night goes on. We've got our games that you can find on the IHSAA Champions Network that does have live video. So some of those games, Justin just shouted out those games that we've got. We've got a silent broadcast as well over of LaPorte and City, which is the box that's right here. This direction over here. So City and LaPorte, that is still 14-0. I'm going to make sure I'm going to watch on my computer to make sure that we have that right. See if I point, because it's delayed here, so we'll see if that points in the right direction. Yep, I got it. I did it.
And it looks like we do have a Strack and Van Til hometown scoreboard update. We have the Michigan City Wolves up 21-0 with a minute 40 left in the second quarter. Actually right on cue with the silent scoreboard we have on screen on the bottom left, next to Michael Bradner over there. 21-0 Wolves over the Slicers.
So 21-0 the score over there. Is there anything that's standing out to you as kind of a surprising score right off the bat, Matt?
Not really, actually, because even looking at the...
All right, that's all, folks. That's all we've got for you tonight.
Yeah. No, I mean, I was kind of surprised at the Fort Wayne Carroll, Fort Wayne Northrop game. Just Northrop's offense is a very potent offense. I'm surprised that Carroll's held them to 7 points. They have an Ohio State commit at wide receiver there on Northrop, so it's it's surprising there. But Carroll's offense is loaded. They had a majority of the players coming back from last year's regional or sectional championship team, and so they're putting up points. The Penn Crown Point game, just that could go either way. You just whoever does what they do best and accomplishes that. That's where they're getting. But Maryville Munster game is kind of surprising that it's only 17-0. Munster's playing tough. Michigan City, LaPorte. I expected Michigan City to come after LaPorte compared to the last time where LaPorte was pretty much had them shut out for 3 quarters and everything like that. But the surprising one to me, unfortunately, is not one of our region games. It's downstate where Westfield's beating Carmel.
Yeah, that's always an interesting one because Carmel definitely a heavy favorite to win.
And Westfield's no slouch. Don't get me wrong; they're still a top 10 team. But the way Carmel's been playing, Carmel's been blowing out teams. It's according to John Harrow, percentages wise, and wherever their formula is, Carmel was one of the favorites to be in the state championship game. So. It's interesting to see how this goes. The Lowell Hobart game is kind of going somewhat how I expected it to go. Hobart not having Max Pickett the first game, now having Max Pickett, that adds a different dynamic to their offense where he's a little bit quicker running back, and not that the guy that subbed in for him was a slouch or anything like that.
Right,
but
correct.
Max Pickett makes their offense just that much more dynamic.
All right, before his arm falls off, let's thank you over to Justin Cole. Justin, we have sent it to you. I didn't want your arm to fall off.
Yes, Crown Point just took a timeout. They are in the red zone, about to score on 3rd and 8.
Oh, yeah.
Again, in the red zone. We have you guys off camera because we actually want you two to take a look at this game right above you on one of our monitors. But yeah, it's going to be 3rd and 13. I guess a false start penalty was called on Crown Point. Again, if you want to see the video of this game, it'll be on the IHSAA Champions Network. We will have links on our social media pages and pinned in the comments and live chat of our audio-only broadcast on Facebook and YouTube if you want to see the video of that. And it looks like Crown Point is just going to be short. And they may have to kick a field goal, or they may go for it. Clock is running with about 7.5 left in the 3rd quarter.
So it looks like the offense does stay out there. We'll give you more scores over the course of the evening. But as you said, Justin, nope, they're going to go for the field goal.
Yep, they're going to go for the field goal. I also want to give an update on the Lowell Hobart game. Lowell just scored a touchdown to take the lead at the Brickyard, 15-14, with 1:11 left in the first half. Kick is good, so it'll be 14-10. Crown Point. We're going to be down by 4 with 7 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Couldn't convert the 3rd down, get 1st and goal, so kick it for 3.
Kind of disappointed at the crowd size of Crown Point out there.
Is there, let me ask you this, I mean, is there I haven't known there to be a fatigue of winning, but do they think Jordan driving? You get what I'm kind of what I'm getting
the
to.
Assumption.
Maybe the assumption, or like, oh, we've been here before. Like,
yeah, well, I'm not going to drive to Point to Penn.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's a thing. I feel like everyone in Crown Point is like really buying into this program, and it's all these sports. So I don't think there is.
Yeah,
but if there is a poor showing, I don't know if that is a factor. I don't know.
I don't know. To me, you would think a big game like that, 2 10-0 teams, 2 top 10 teams, there'd be fan buses going and all that stuff. But I don't know. You don't know the scenario over there and what they can afford and what they can't afford as far as, paying extra buses to go, and with all the cutbacks and everything with school money and stuff like that. You just, you don't know. But, it's disappointing to see, not that they have a horrible turnout, but, Penn stands go from 20 to 20 on the visitor side, so it's a big set of bleachers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you would think that it'd be pretty full
for
being as big of a game as it is.
Want to shout out, appreciate my guy Jake Gore commenting on our streams. He's tuned in, listening. I know he's got some vested interest in the Andrean game as well. So thanks, Jake, for tuning in. We appreciate it and giving us some of those Andrean scores as well. Miss you, buddy. Still checking out some of these other scores that are rolling through here on the Region Sports Network. As we found out, Lowell is up 15-14 over the Brickies.
Yes, and Hobart just took a timeout on 3rd and 5. Believe they're at the 25.
Yeah, I mean,
I could be incorrect. No, they're at the 20-yard line of Lowell Red Devils. I'm trying to make out what's going on over there. They're currently in the huddle of Hobart on our stream. Looks like Hobart has the ball, so they're on the 20-yard line of the Lowell Red Devils. On a 3rd and 5. There's currently 2.3 seconds left in the Michigan City LaPorte game. Looks like they may just do one more play and then go straight to the half in that one, with Michigan City up 21-0. We're still going to keep an eye on it because the clock is currently stopped with 2.3 left. And Hobart will go into the end zone for a touchdown to make it 20-15.
You're watching the game over there.
Just a nice pass.
Well, I'm going to throw this. I'm sure Mike DeWan is watching back at the studio. And we just found another play-by-play guy, Justin Cole. I know we need him for production purposes, but we got another play-by-play guy in the house if we get into a tough stretch.
He can do it all.
All right.
I'm waiting for him to get on the camera. Can we get him on camera? Like, you can't switch that camera on your laptop over there?
I can add a camera if I want
so
to.
you can. Yeah, I know you can. He chooses not to.
I'm still
that is
just
correct.
not sold on the Hobart yellow jersey.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you're not sold on having Justin Cole on the broadcast.
I have more of a voice.
I've been sold on that for weeks.
I'm new here, so I want, Justin's doing a great job, don't get me wrong, but I'm new here. I want to kind of keep going with this. I don't want somebody to take my spot.
Oh, I think he's going to take my spot.
I mean, I'm low man on the totem pole anyway.
I have more of a voice for radio.
No, we don't have a totem pole. Everyone's equal around here. Except Mike DeWan. He's the guy at the top of the totem pole.
All right, it is 21-0 Michigan City up against LaPorte at the half.
Justin keeps us on track. That's why he's here. What was that?
That is correct.
I wasn't listening.
And you know what, though? I'm just putting it out there, not that a lot of people care about this, but every team that's playing that's on our sheets, there's not one duplicate mascot team name.
Oh.
We got Trojans, Lancers, Bombers, Niners, Mounties.
I like that nugget.
Kings, Bruins, Slicers.
And it's not Boston.
It's just Yeah. Railroaders. It's funny that it goes on there. There's some TikTok guys going around that are just going and doing old Indiana high school teams.
I have seen those, yeah.
And they had like ones that like schools that were defunct, that were closed or whatever, and just the weird mascots that they had and stuff like that. I was just like, this is.
I'm still going to say
one of my
high
school names is
one of my favorites is the Jimtown Jimmies. You can't beat the Jimmies of Jimtown. I love it.
Yep.
We're going to take a look at this Crown Point game. I think they just got the ball back, and it is a 1st and goal for the Bulldogs.
We need to get off camera so we can watch the game.
Right. How do we get the game on here? How can I watch that? Well, because we're on camera.
You guys are not on camera.
Yeah, we would have an idea.
For the record, that's not a.
Well, no, I'm sorry. How do we get the video on here is what I meant.
Next week, we need to set up over there so we can see the screens.
True. But let's take
Justin's
a look at this.
Yeah, but then I can't see
we're on camera. Justin's
Crown
like,
Point play.
Crown Point just got this. And we're like,
they're going to run to the left for about gain of about 6.
Okay, Justin, I am going to ask, are you allowed to do play-by-play?
Some of us were doing it last week.
Okay,
the other games.
I don't want us to get hit with a violation. That's why I'm asking.
There's no video of the actual game,
right?
So
but I just want to make sure
we're looking at other monitors with some of the games here at the Athletic Performance Factory. Nice facility we have here.
I'm just making sure that we're not.
Yeah.
So Crown Point trying here, a little stumbling and bumbling, and they're going to get. Are they going to get in?
Did they get in?
It looks like there might
be a yard short. Yep.
Down to the 1.
So down to the 1.
Yeah, my personal favorite is the Frankfurt hot dogs.
Okay, all right.
They have a wiener dog for their mascot.
Excellent.
Let's
ask because it's a big note. We got our executive producer in the house as well. He's walking away from us though. I mentioned his name and he leaves.
With that formation that Crown Point's lining up in, looks like a legal substitution on somebody. Offsides on Penn, so you move it to the 6-inch line. But it looks like Trevor Gibbs is going to get the ball and run it in, which, at this point in the game, you give it to your big dog and let him go.
And the pun was intended on that, by the way.
We do have 35-0 Andrian up over the Rensselaer Central Bombers at the half. That is a Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update, which you can see in the bottom right currently of our quad box.
And it looks like the Crown Point Bulldogs did get into the end zone. And did I just see the referee throw a flag? Yes, I did. Probably going to be some
extracurricular activity?
Well, I'm thinking there's probably some language or some taunting of some kind, probably, after because the official was right in the whole gathering. Yep.
Crown Point. This could be big here.
So that doesn't go against the touchdown itself, and that will it be enforced on the kickoff, I believe?
PAT, I think. Maybe.
On the PAT?
Yeah.
So if let's say they decide to even go for the 2-point conversion, where would that back them up to on that case?
Well, if it's a 15-yard penalty and it's enforced on the PAT, then it'll just be back at the whatever the 17-yard line.
Okay.
No, it looks like it'll be on the kickoff.
Can they request it? Can one of the teams request it to be on the kickoff or the extra point?
I can't answer that question.
Okay.
I would love to tell you yes or no, but maybe with it being a dead ball foul, it's probably enforced on the kickoff.
That's what I'm thinking, because if I'm Penn, I think in reality I would want it on the kickoff, because 2-point, 3-point game, yes, it can be a difference, but I'd rather have a chance to get the ball in a spot where I can score a touchdown easier and closer.
Yeah.
That's me.
And they don't. Crown Point doesn't. I don't know if Brewer's playing or not. Oliver Brewer is Crown Point's main kicker, and to me, if he wasn't playing, that he could be the difference maker in the game just by not playing because their other kickers have fared well, but if it comes down to a 30 or 40-yard field goal, Brewer's going to knock it in, where these younger guys are.
Well, let's see where they line up here before. I know Justin wants to take a break here in just a second. Let's take a look and see where they line up here.
Yeah, it looks like the penalty was enforced on the kickoff.
So this is going to be one of those things. Coach Bazia is going to say, score the touchdown, keep your mouth closed. Like, you scored the touchdown. Be happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what was. It looked like the official was in the huddle, but was in the celebration. There must have been something said.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was directed at one of the Kingsmen or if it was just something that was said in their celebration that may have been like a taunting or something. I don't know. Obviously, we're not there. We can't hear, but something was said, and it definitely.
It looks like Brewer is healthy though. He's kicking, so.
Man, what a kick all the way to the 20-yard line.
Yeah,
he returned.
He's been kicking since his freshman
up to the 40. What a return here, up near midfield. Yeah, across the 45. That is a big return of 25-plus yards. So now you're starting with great field position if you're the Penn Kingsmen. This would be why I would want it on the kickoff, the penalty.
Yeah, even if you're in a position now, even if you don't score, you can pin Crown Point deep.
Correct.
But again, Crown Point special teams are special. Van Tichel is an incredible return man, and
we're going to step aside. You are watching the RSN Zone right here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hi, my name is Mark Macknick. I'm the owner of Mark Macknick CPA firm in Highland, Indiana on Kennedy Avenue. I've been working with Region Sports for years now. Started working with Chris years ago, just on some special projects, advertising here and there. After a while, kind of increased the advertising. Mainly was doing it for the community involvement. It's such a great network and program they do with the high school sports. But as time went by, I started getting on there more frequently, and then the phone starts ringing. And I was getting calls all the time from people. Hey, I saw your ad on so-and-so football game. I saw your ad on a basketball game. And it's really helped my business. It's increased the volume. We're a tight community in Northwest Indiana, sports-wise, and just a lot of community involvement. So that's mainly why I got into it. I remember watching one game. It was a basketball game, and I think there was a little bit of an altercation. And as the altercation was happening, my ad was right on the bottom, and someone typed in, "I wonder what Mark Macknick's thinking right now." And I was thinking, "Wow, this is awesome." It's really been a great feature for my business. It's the only advertising I do. I don't advertise anywhere else other than Region Sports. It's for the business, but mainly for the involvement with the community. I played high school baseball here in Highland. And ever since I've been advertising on Region Sports, a lot of my old coaches are now my clients. A lot of my old teammates come in here. My recommendation, if you're a business here in Northwest Indiana, I think Region Sports is, for your money, it's one of the best places that you can advertise. I mean, I can advertise on billboards. I could do anywhere I want to. And I choose Region Sports mainly because I get a lot of feedback. Especially on the high school level, a lot of the parents, if they can't make a game, they're watching it online. They're watching a replay, the grandparents. So it's done wonders for my business, and it's my go-to for advertising. It's the only spot I would advertise. So if you're a business owner in the area, really look into advertising on Region Sports. It's going to be well worth your money, and you'll make tenfold on what you're spending. Region Sports Network, they're the only game in town, but they're more than just a game.
Welcome back to the RSN Zone here on the Region Sports Network. Michael Brandon, Matt Skura alongside as we bring you updates here from Sectional Championship Friday here around the state of Indiana. We can give you more scores as the night continues to go on. watching the Shrek and Van Til hometown scoreboard update for you. I believe Justin has an update.
Yeah, well, I'll step in for Justin here unless he's got a score update. Just as quickly as Crown Point scored, Penn marched down their 4th and goal at the 1 yard line. And
it's in.
Touchdown. So just as quickly as Crown Point scored to take the lead, they give it right back up to Penn.
So that penalty looming large, an unsportsmanlike conduct after the touchdown for Crown Point. That played. Now, granted, it was a nice return as well that helped start setting that up.
Right.
But certainly getting it at the 20-yard line and then a 25-yard return, certainly helped that for Penn. But having it backed up a little bit on that kickoff.
Yeah, when you got a kicker that typically kicks touchbacks.
Yes.
That's a huge
the extra
difference.
Point is good. 21-17 Kingsman.
Still 35-0 in favor of the Andrean 59ers, who are looking for their 23rd sectional championship in program history. That's the last look on that one. It is 28-14, the Garrett Railroaders. One thing I'm forgetting to watch is I think I saw Hobart is up 21-15. Is that right, Justin?
Can you repeat that again, Michael?
Hobart up 21-15. Did I see that correctly?
That is correct. They are at the half at the moment, as well as Michigan City LaPorte, which City's up 21-0 in the half.
Surprisingly enough, tonight the scoreboard is actually moving way quicker than I would like it to. Normally it takes a little bit more time. Like, okay, we speed this up. Tonight it's actually like moving a little quicker than it normally does. It's throwing me off.
Absolutely, especially with the games having earlier start times because some teams are playing in the Eastern time zone rather than the Central time zone, with the exception of those in Northwestern and Southwestern Indiana, out obviously Southwestern Indiana near Evansville, playing in the Central time zone. That's why you're seeing a lot of games, if you were watching teams featuring like South Bend or Fort Wayne, they're already like in the fourth quarter as we speak. I just scrolled across the IHSAA Champions Network, seeing what other games are currently going on in the Southern bracket. The Linton Miners are up over Sullivan in the fourth quarter, like 52 to
We had to get the Miners in there because we've been talking about odd team school mascots.
Oh, yeah, Linton Stockton Miners down there in Sullivan County. About southern Sullivan County, I would say. I think that's where it's at.
Trying to find my 5. Oh, there's a 5A.
Do have some finals to tell you about as well, because as you mentioned, Justin, there are teams that were started earlier than we normally would here in Northwest Indiana. West Central and LaVille. LaVille picks up their 7th sectional championship in program history, 49-6 the final over there. Pioneer gets their 13th sectional championship over Carroll Flora, and it's 45-14 at the final over there, along with Southmont getting the win over Lewis Cass, 44-39. So the winner, that Southmont team who picked up their 2nd sectional championship in program history, the first since 2023, they will play the winner of Andrean and Rensselaer, and right now it is all Andrean, 35-0.
The LaPorte Slicers and the Michigan City Wolves are about a minute out from, I believe, starting the second half. At least that's what it's showing on their clock at Slicer Field. I see the LaPorte Slicers are now running out of the tunnel, so they're about to start the second half real soon. We're keeping an eye on this Crown Point game. They just had a long pass that was thrown moments ago. It's currently 2nd and 10 from about the 30-ish yard line or 29-yard line of the Penn Kingsmen. About a minute left in the third quarter, so you might want to hang on tight with the Crown Point Bulldogs. It's not over yet. Anything can happen.
I got a Strachan Van Til's hometown scoreboard update. It's more of a Class 5A semi-state possible preview for Maryville or Michigan City. Lafayette Jeff beat Kokomo 57-0. So that is more than likely probably going to be the team standing between one of our region teams and a possible state appearance down in Indianapolis.
More updates for you as we move down the bracket. Still 35-0 in favor of the Andrean 59ers. Knox is up 40-6 over Mishawaka Marion. The Garrett Railroaders up 28-14 over Angola. Hobart up 21-15 in the third over the Lowell Red Devils. This has been an intriguing matchup to me for sectionals. Obviously it's something that happens on a regular basis, but this matchup between the two schools. But man, oh man, you talk about two fan bases that might arguably be the best fan bases in Northwest Indiana that support their team and get the loudest of anyone in Northwest Indiana. Their stadiums are great. They show up every week. They're loud.
And they're both thirsty for a sectional championship.
Because there's so much history with these two programs. I think, with Hobart, you got to go all the way back to, 1993 for the last state championship? Yeah, 1993.
Both teams have young coaches now, and they both understand the pedigree of the programs and the rich history of both programs, and they're just building that up. Both of them, Hobart and Lowell, have both, since their storied coaches Kennedy and Howell have left and retired, or Kennedy leaving, Howell retiring. These are the first coaches that have been non-Lowell, non-Hobart people that have come in to coach these programs.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you look at the regular season matchup earlier this year, Lowell had to go to Hobart, just like they are again tonight. Lowell getting the win 20-17. Little flip of the script right now for the Hobart Brickies. So, but man, just two storied programs that go all the way back as far as they do with stuff and success. And Lowell obviously 2005 the only state championship in program history for them. But man, oh man, just so much history and so much fun with those two programs.
Yeah, and I mean it's a storied rivalry, just in not so much historically over the history of the schools, but just the recent early 2000s now, with everything in both of them being in 4A and just constant competition.
Justin?
Yes, we do have a Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update. Buckle your seatbelts. It is 21-17 Penn at the end of the third quarter. We're going into that fourth quarter. I believe Crown Point only has one timeout left for the rest of the half. I believe they burned through two timeouts already in the third quarter, so it's going to be real interesting. Penn has all of their timeouts going into the fourth quarter. Want to buckle your seatbelts because this is going to be a really good ending to this football game. The battle of the undefeated teams in 6A.
I got another quick update here. Strachan Van Til's hometown scoreboard update. Carmel and Westfield are tied 17-17 at the end of the fourth quarter. So they're going into overtime for a sectional championship there.
Oh, boy. Who doesn't love a little overtime on a Friday night?
No.
Battling for a sectional championship.
And that is,
that's what Justin Cole signs up for.
And we are about to start the second half at Slicer Field. The Michigan City Wolves are going to get the ball to start the second half. And they have just kicked off. It's going to be a touchback. So Michigan City is going to start up at the 20-yard line to start the third quarter. And we are still awaiting the kickoff at Hobart. Rensselaer is about to get the ball to start the third quarter. They are lining up to kick off the second half in Rensselaer.
There was a run by Custody, and Custody got hit out of bounds, and then a little hootenanny going on over there.
I'm sorry, a what?
A hootenanny.
Oh, who doesn't love a good hootenanny?
Donnybroker.
There you go.
But so it was 2nd and 12. Custody had a run, and it looks like there might be a 15-yarder against Penn to put Crown Point in the red zone. Yes, 15-yarder against Penn, so that gives Crown Point a first down and inside the red zone, possibly a first and goal. So at this point in the game, it's going to be whoever gets the big stop.
Absolutely.
You know, reminiscent of the Crown Point Penn regional. Was it regional matchup 2 years ago? Yeah, it was the regional matchup.
Yes, it was.
Where Penn missed a field goal at the end of the game.
And Crown Point's going to get it into the end zone for a touchdown and take the lead back.
And that was, I mean, Coach Buzz having confidence. That was a freshman that had that run in a game where you're down 4 points in the fourth quarter. You give the ball to a freshman.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, I mean, that's he's going to be something special, too. I think he's one of their starting outside linebackers. So, looks like Crown Point is, they're going for 1, PAT. 2's not going to do them any good right here anyway. That's good. Crown Point takes lead 24-21 with 11-12 left in the game.
Let's go ahead and take a quick timeout here on the RSN Zone. We will be back with more scores on the other side of the break. You're watching the RSN Zone here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Ava, let's go.
Try it on.
The shortest distance between two people is a smile. That's why we're committed to fighting hunger in our communities until everyone has a reason to smile. Strack and Van Til, where making life easier starts with a smile.
Hi, I'm Crowd Company's Lantern Man. If you're a contractor, it's my job to make your insurance coverage simple and affordable. Because I know time is money, I'll come to your business. Certificates and bonds are a snap. Wherever you are, whatever business you're in, we've got you covered. As Crowd Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowd Companies, insurance professionals. Highland, Merrillville, and Michigan City.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
From lighting up Friday Night Football to powering the classrooms that shape the students of Lake County, IBEW Local 697 is proud to support our region's schools and the communities we call home. A career as a union electrician could be your next great move. Your next cap might be a hard hat. IBEW Local 697, powering futures, powering the region.
Four Seasons Mechanical proudly serves Northwest Indiana, providing quality, reasonably priced, reliable service. With a quality and comfort guarantee, the professionals at Four Seasons Mechanical offer a wide range of services in heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. Whether it's residential or commercial, Four Seasons Mechanical is there 24/7. To find out more, the website is fourseasonsmechanical.com or give them a call at 219-756-7020. Four Seasons Mechanical, your indoor air quality specialist.
At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
Hey, welcome back to the RSN Zone here on the Region Sports Network from the Athletic Performance Factory. Michael Brenner here along with Matt Skura as we bring you the updates from around the state of Indiana. And it is sectional championship Friday for you here tonight. We've got plenty of scores. We did have some finals that are kind of going around the state. Class 1A, the ones we were looking at, LaVille did get the win over West Central tonight. So LaVille gets their 7th sectional championship in program history, 49-6 over the Trojans. And then Pioneer gets the win over Carroll Flora, and that is a 45-14 victory, 13th sectional championship in program history for Pioneer. And then the other final that we got, Southmont gets the win over Lewis Cass, their 2nd sectional championship in program history, 44-39, the final over there. Southmont will get the winner of the Andrean Rensselaer Central game. Andrean, at last update, was up 35-0. So looking like that's going to be the Andrean 59ers. Obviously, crazy things can change, but it's looking like the Andrean 59ers at this point.
Yeah, 59ers are looking sharp, crisp. Skinner's got him where he wants them. Going in there, just, you're getting to the point now where you just don't want any major injuries or anything like that.
Correct.
Going into regionals and possibly semi-state.
Yeah, for sure. Trying to get the updates here.
I got an update for you. Also, Fort Wayne Carroll, the Chargers are up 42-23 on the Northrop Bruins in the 4th. You got the Crown Point game right there, so
I think they got it back up on here.
Yeah, I didn't know, we can kind of
we can watch it on here. There you go.
So, yeah, Penn's getting ready to punt with 8:51 left in the game on a 4th down from their own 37-yard line. So, if we can get a nice little offensive run there, burn some time off the clock, and get some points on the board, Crown Point could look to win a sectional championship here. What do we have for Maryville?
Last update for the Maryville Pirates was 38-7. Justin Cole's checking my notes that I'm having.
Yeah, Hobart and Lowell are out of the half now, and they're underway in the second half. So it looks like Crown Point's going to take over just shy of midfield.
That clock running down to 8:41 left to go in that one. It was a couple years ago. What was it? Was it a blocked field goal or a block extra point that allowed Crown Point to beat Penn a couple of years ago? There was a blocked PAT and a blocked field goal, correct? That helped them secure the victory?
Yeah, they got the field goal last second to secure the victory, and then they overtime they had the deflected pass in semi-state.
Yes.
Or
was it semi-state? Yeah,
semi-state they beat Westfield at home. So it looks like they're just going to go Wildcat with the freshman running back again. That's just Buzz is just oozing with confidence in that. Letting a freshman carry the ball late in the 4th quarter with the lead.
Yeah.
So
I think Justin had an update for us.
Yeah, I just want to make a mention to you guys that Lowell and Hulbert just started the second half, currently with about under 10 minutes left in the third quarter. Of course, the Brickies are up 21-15.
It's starting to throw me off a little bit. We got games that are going final. We got games that are just starting the second half. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Why are they so far behind? But it's not too late in this evening.
Sorry, I'm getting too excited here.
No,
Crown Point just had a big run by Summers, a freshman. They're down inside the 20, driving to score here. We got Carmel and Westfield in overtime. We got, it's just great games, tight games. Blowouts, everything's going on in the sectional championship weekend here.
I'm over here moving around and kick the camera a little bit.
Championship November going on here. You got, girls basketball season just getting kicked off here.
Yeah.
Boys basketball season will be getting kicked off in a Thanksgiving weekend. Wrestling season is going to be getting kicked off here pretty soon. So, it's a great time of year to be a sports fan for high school, college.
And we just
everything.
had the volleyball state championship?
Yeah, volleyball state championships this weekend.
Oh, this weekend, okay.
And it was crazy because I watched the regionals a little bit this weekend, and you had Westfield, which is a nationally ranked team, beat Hamilton Southeastern in the sectional championship, which is a nationally ranked team. Fort Wayne Carroll, who's nationally ranked, beat Westfield and then beat Crown Point, knocked off Crown Point 3-1.
Got a Strack and Van Til hometown scoreboard update. You're keeping an eye on what's going on at LaPorte. I believe they just scored a touchdown in the third quarter. They were retrying the kick for Michigan City being offside. Kick is good, so it is 21-7. LaPorte Slicers are on the board in the third quarter with 5:46 left at Slicer Field.
Just getting back to the volleyball thing, I know we're on football and stuff,
right.
But, you just have 3 teams in the state of Indiana that are nationally ranked, and they're top 25 nationally ranked teams. They're just not in the top 50 or top 100. So, and then Crown Point's volleyball team had several Division I volleyball players and everything. So, the sport.
Oh, going to the bowl game on one of these. That works. Asking for other things we can turn down.
Well,
leave those on. Yeah, leave those.
That and it's not unfortunate because it's a local team, but we want USC to beat Northwestern to help, with the ranking stuff for other teams. But Northwestern and USC are tied 7-7.
Okay, so updates all over the place for us.
Blackhawks are winning. Everybody.
Chicagoland is fun.
Yeah.
You're talking about that Fort Wayne Carroll
the
team?
winter Chicago sports are fun. And the summer teams, But go ahead.
I feel a little slighted there. Cubs baseball was fine this year.
They were. They made the playoffs. Yes.
But just back to your point about Fort Wayne Carroll for volleyball, undefeated and has won 49 straight matches going back to last season. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah. So they won a state championship. They're going for back-to-back state championships.
Yes.
It's impressive.
But back to the action here in Northwest Indiana and around the state for high school football, as we mentioned. For Crown Point, it is still 24-21. Yeah. We've got a measurement coming up here. Who's bringing out the index card is the question.
6 minutes left in the game. Crown Point's on the 10-yard line. Measurement for a first down. If it is a first down, it's 1st and goal.
I don't know why I was having a flashback. What was
I believe it is
what was that
short.
Michigan college game
It
where
was-
it was
Crown Point went for it on 4th down and didn't get it. They were just short.
They are just short, so Penn will get
has
the ball.
Yeah, Penn has the ball. 91 yards to go because they're on the 9-yard line.
And I do have another Strack and Van Til hometown scoreboard update. The Andrean 59ers still currently lead with 32 seconds left in the third quarter, but Rensselaer has scored a touchdown to make it 35-7. Again, the 59ers
does that
on top.
Does that stay a running clock in the playoffs? stops.
The clock is currently stopped because obviously
Because it's under 35. I didn't know if it stayed a running clock.
I think once they start a running clock, it stays a running clock.
Even
Yes.
if they get it within.
I think so.
That's kind of.
they have about 30 seconds left in the third quarter, so they are about to head to the fourth in just mere moments.
Now they may do different rules for the
playoffs,
but I don't think so.
I mean, it's hard too because a lot of those games that are 35-0 are, they're just out of reach. Might as well be 70-0. Some of those games.
For some, yeah, that's not everybody, but we'll see how the things shape out over there in Penn. Between them and Crown Point.
Penn's going to have to start throwing the ball here. I know there's still 5.5 minutes left in the game, but you can always try and catch somebody off guard with the run every now and then. But nice thing about high school football is the clock stops for the chains to move. Oh, you're ahead of me on the. The bad part is you don't want to let them run the clock down and score.
Correct. Yeah, you want to be able to.
Because they don't have that. They don't have that handoff to Larry Ellison for a 70-yard touchdown run in their arsenal this year.
So that is going to conclude the end of the third quarter at Rensselaer Central High School with Andrean leading 35-7. Again, at the end of the third quarter. At least we have Rensselaer Central on the board late, but they're going to need to pull out their defense if they want to stop the 59ers.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, though. Just watching local teams play, and it's a close game, and it's tight, that anxiety level as a coach kind of dials up a little bit. As a fan, you're excited. You want to see games like this, but just the coaching aspect of it is.
Well, I would say you're the fan, but if you're the parent aspect of this, especially your heart is in your stomach.
Yeah,
right now.
Especially if you're a parent of a senior, or your kid's the one that the guy catches the pass on, or something like that. Which Penn's starting to march down the field. They're at their own 45 with 4.5 minutes left to play.
Still 38-7 in favor of the Maryville Pirates over there in sectional number 9. Still 21-15 in favor of the Hobart Brickies. And I believe South Bend St. Joe's came back and won. This is jumping over a little bit.
Well, South Bend St. Joe's was up 3-0, weren't they?
They were down 7-3.
Mishawaka was up 7-3.
So we'll have to see as this one plays out here. Got to wait for the scoreboard to run through again.
Currently have the Brickies.
Carroll does get the win 42-23.
Currently have the Brickies in the red zone right now. They're about less than 20 yards out from another touchdown.
As Justin said, 35-17 in the third. I'm sorry, 35-7 in the third for Andrean.
Yep.
They just started the fourth quarter.
Yep. Crown Point had a penalty walked off on them, so Penn is in the red zone now. They drove down inside the 20.
Hobart is also in the red zone right now. They're at 1st and goal. And they're still going to be short, or they may have it. Waiting on the call. Looks like it's going to be a yard short in that Hobart game. You guys are not on camera for the record.
Yeah. Penn's inside the 10 now. 4 minutes left. 1st and goal for Penn.
That other final was a final. South Bend St. Joe's comes back and gets the win 13-7 over the Cavemen of Mishawaka.
That's a big win for St. Joe.
First sectional championship since 2015. And it's their 11th in program history.
Yeah, so if you're looking at Hobart will play at St. Joe, and St. Joe will travel to Lowell.
Okay.
And we have a touchdown, Brickies. Into the end zone.
So we were at
like they're going to go for the extra
27-15
point.
right now, is that right?
Currently it is
27-15.
27-15 currently. They're about to go for the extra point. You'll be able to see that in the upper right of your screen. Above the Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard, which we do have the individual stream for that, and we'll also have the finals running later on tonight. You also don't want to forget to tune in to the RSN wrap-up show. We wrap up all the games that are currently going on tonight and kind of previewing what will be going on for regionals. That'll be going on later on tonight. We'll also have highlights from the Crown Point Penn game and the Lowell Hobart game.
Third and goal for Penn after a missed catch in the end zone for the Kingsmen.
It's getting in. It's 2-down territory now. Well, Penn can kick the field goal to tie it too, so they're in position for that.
It's going to be high drama out there. Looks like a timeout's going to be called by Penn.
Ulcers galore starting over here out in Mishawaka out there.
Yeah, so the Kingsmen come up short. Penn is certainly thinking that they have a good chance to win this game. They're in position to potentially take the lead on a third and goal. Now, the question is going to be, if they can't convert on third and goal, do you risk going for it on fourth and goal, or do you go for the tie? Still with, you're probably going to be figuring maybe just around the 3-minute mark, maybe just a little above or below.
I mean, it's close enough. It's almost a PAT, so you think you're at home, you go for the tie, then you rely on your defense to stop Crown Point. If you can get a 3 and out, you might get the ball back. Good field position,
right?
So you don't want to put yourself in a position where.
Well, we're going to find out here.
Kick is up and good in the Hobart game. They had a couple of penalties on them, moving them back for a really far field goal, but they did get it. 28-15.
They say out of bounds for Penn. So he came down with the catch, but the foot was out of bounds. So now here's the question.
Good play call.
So with 3:27 left to go here, if you're Penn, it looks like they are bringing the field goal unit on.
You got to put the 3 on the board, tie it up, and then worst case scenario, you're going overtime. You don't have to rely on your defense to make a huge stop.
Crown Point's going to be looking to potentially block this kick if they can.
You just don't want an offsides or something to make
don't
change
have
your
a penalty here to give them a fresh shut it down. Oh, bad snap!
Oh, no.
Going to have to pick this one up. They're sacked down at the 20.
That's the stop that Crown Point needed.
Not a scenario we were envisioning here.
It's not a game sealer, but
what a stop for the Crown Point Bulldogs. They prevent the game-tying field goal for the Penn Kingsmen. Absolutely incredible for the Crown Point Bulldogs. 3:22 remaining. Penn with 2 timeouts. So there is, unless you're picking up the first downs here, there is a good chance that Penn will probably get this ball back potentially at some point.
Yeah, and Crown Point's going to hold on to their one and only timeout that they have. I believe they burned 2 of them in the third quarter.
But they want to pick up the first down, because if you can pick up the first down, that the clock obviously is going to continue to run here. They stop it with 3:15. But the more opportunities you can get at that first down.
Timeout Penn.
So timeout Penn. They've only got 1 remaining now. It'll be 2nd and 10. They picked up no yardage on the play. If they can't pick up the first down, it is going to be another Penn opportunity. So Crown Point really needs to continue to pick up a first down here, a Four Seasons mechanical first down.
Yeah, because there's going to be plenty of time.
Yeah.
Because if Penn calls a timeout after second down, you're not going to run a whole lot of time off the clock.
Oh, so. You changed it to 2nd and 8. So they picked up 2 yards on the play.
I mean, it's almost. Do you want to give the ball to Gibbs, or do you want Gibbs to be your lead blocker? Well, you're going to hand the ball off. Maybe a play action pass, but a short pass, screen pass, something.
Well, I would say in this scenario, obviously run the ball here, get some time off the clock, get some yardage. So maybe have Gibbs as your lead blocker, and then if you can get down to less than 5, make him your third down back to pick up the first down.
Yeah, they're set up with Summers.
Little flip here to the edge. Not much to do, though, on the little trick play. Maybe picked up a yard, if that. We'll see what they update on our score bug here as Penn calls their timeout.
Burn that last timeout.
Probably looking at 3rd and 6,
yeah,
3rd and 7.
If they pick, well, now they put it back to 3rd and 10, so they lost yardage on that play.
Looking at the.
Kind of want to.
Looking at probably still 3rd and 8. Probably didn't look like he didn't gain anything.
I'm just going with what they have here on the score.
Yeah, I'm looking at the 3rd down marker compared to the first down stuff. But
either way, 3rd down for Crown Point. Ideally, they want to pick up this first down. I know I'm stating the obvious here.
Yeah, you get the first down, you can breathe a little bit easier. Especially
because Penn can't call timeout.
Yeah, Penn can't stop the clock. Then they're going to come after you if you got a punt.
So still 3:08 left to go in this one. A sectional championship on the line for Crown Point. If they can hold on, it'll be their 10th in program history, 3rd in a row.
We'll need to grab that highlight.
They would pick up their 27th and their first since 2023.
We need to grab that highlight of that missed field goal. Hopefully we'll have that tonight on our wrap-up show to show you what actually happened. Because that was probably an amazing call that Andrew Mild had. Of course, Andrew Mild, the voice of the Railcats, and also an alum of the Crown Point Bulldogs, calling the game for us on the Region Sports Network. Again, video on the IHSAA Champions Network. There will be links on our social media pages to that game, as well as the Lowell Hobart game that we are also broadcasting video of. That game, obviously called by Leo Stodker and Jay Simmons out at the Brickyard.
Time winding down to 2:30 here in this one. They're going to let this go down. It's 4th and 6 for the Bulldogs, and
yeah, they'll let it run down all the way, call timeout.
Yeah.
Then
try to get a good punt here. Here's the timeout called here. Actually, they're going to take the delay of game. They said there's no, because the official pointed to Crown Point, but I saw the flag.
It might have not been a horrible thing to take the delay of game and save your timeout just in case.
I did see the official point in the direction of Crown Point, so it looked like they did call the timeout. And that may be what they're discussing right now. The head official is talking to an official in the middle of the field. Was a timeout called, or did they take the delay of game penalty? Because the flag, the yellow flag marker was shown on our score bug, and they haven't taken the Crown Point timeout off the score bug yet. So we'll see if.
But they're still at the same spot.
So they did not take the delay of game. They did get a timeout. Ooh, just got the punt away. It'll be taken at the 46-yard line. So this is where Penn will set up. They missed that field goal to tie the game, and now with 2:14 left to go, they have a chance to put points on the board, starting at Crown Point at their own 46-yard line. So great field position to start up for Penn.
Yeah, these guys, there's plenty of time, so Penn can still run and pass. But you got to pin your ears back and go.
So the Crown Point defense needing to step up in a big way here.
Do want to give an update, though, in the LaPorte game. They just had a big gain to where they're in the red zone with obviously 15 seconds left in the third quarter. Of course, Michigan City's up 21-7, about to go into the end of the third quarter, but LaPorte is knocking on the door. That game is not over yet. That's also another good game that we're keeping an eye on in Northwest Indiana, and it looks like they're going to end the third quarter 21-7. Slicers knocking on the door of the Michigan City Wolves late.
Huge penalty on Crown Point, sideline infraction, so 15 yards for Penn. Sets them up at the 31-yard line. First down. That could loom large. And
that is something that has definitely hurt Crown Point. Penalties have hurt Crown Point big time tonight, no question about it.
There's a flag. Hopefully, holding on Penn.
So that big gain on that catch is going to get negated.
So that kind of basically almost nullifies that 15-yarder that was called. The only thing it did was it stopped the clock.
Which is what Crown Point does not want to do right now. They want that clock to continue to roll.
Oh, dead ball personal foul on Penn. So it just gives them that 15 yards, right? Gives back to where we started.
Do you want to give an update at the Hobart-Lowell game that just started the fourth quarter? Of course, the Brickies are up 28-15. Again, starting the fourth quarter at the Brickyard. Meanwhile, we're going to keep an eye on this Penn-Crown Point game. High drama at Penn High School. And a long pass. It's caught, and it's going to be... They're going to call it a touchdown. Thought the referee was going to mark him about a yard short, but they're saying he's in.
I don't know. I mean, they got to throw deep. They got to do something. Why don't we have...
And I know on our scoreboard we have Crown Point with one timeout left. I don't believe that's accurate.
Yeah, so a minute 47 left. Penn's kicking the PAT.
They're about to be potentially up by 4 points. So Crown Point in a minute 47 would have to score a touchdown. So now you start this debate of, was the missed field goal, I don't know, was that actually better? I mean, for them, because they ended up getting the field position, did Crown Point just not really, not to say that they didn't try for the first down, but did they maybe not?
Yeah, I mean, with that much time
I have a hard time believing Buzz was not going for the first down.
Yeah, with that much time left in the game, you still got to run your offense and do everything you got to do, You don't really want to throw the ball unless it's a guaranteed completion. But now, they're set up now where they got to do something to move the ball down the field. Big plays.
28-24 Penn.
Great game, back and forth game.
Absolutely. And we're still keeping an eye on this LaPorte Michigan City game. Again, LaPorte is in the red zone currently. They just took a timeout. I'm not sure if that was on Michigan City or LaPorte, but they are in a timeout. Hobart and Lowell are currently at midfield, but it looks like Lowell is gearing up to be in the red zone very shortly. They're going to take a run to the left, and they're going to gain
Point's return team has
some yardage.
had some big returns, so don't, they could set them up good field position here.
So we've still got plenty of games here.
Oh, Van Tichel takes it to the 35.
Do have a final Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update. The Andrean 59ers have won the sectional championship, defeating the Rensselaer Central Bombers 35-14. That is a final out in Jasper County at Rensselaer Central High School. Andrean advancing.
So the only games that we've been kind of following tonight still going on. You got Lowell and Hobart, Munster, Maryville, Michigan City, LaPorte, and of course this Crown Point Penn game as well.
Again, we are still keeping an eye on some of these games that we have, of course, Crown Point and Penn, as well as Lowell and Hobart. Both of those games we have video of on the Region Sports Network, available on the IHSAA Champions Network if you are interested in watching the video for that game. There's also the audio-only broadcast that we have on our Facebook and YouTube pages. And we will have the links to the video broadcast on our social media pages if you are interested in watching. Crown Point is currently throwing the ball downfield. It looks like they got the first down, or penalties being called. We're still going to keep an eye on that. We do have a Strachan Van Til hometown scoreboard update. The LaPorte Slicers knocking on the door. They're still trailing the Michigan City Wolves, but it is 21-14 with 10.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. That's another good game that is going on in the region. We are still also keeping an eye on that Hobart-Lowell game, currently at the 9-minute, 7-second mark in the fourth quarter.
So we have another Strachan Van Til's hometown scoreboard update. The Westfield Shamrocks defeated Carmel Greyhounds 23-20 in overtime. So that is the number 5 team knocked off the number 2 team in 6A.
Another penalty in this Crown Point Penn game.
Still marching back again.
And it's another penalty against Crown Point.
It's going to be a touchback for LaPorte.
It's a false start for Crown Point. So
they're 2nd and 20.
I think this is back-to-back penalties.
Yeah. Going down very quietly, it seems.
2nd and 20, $1:24 left to go.
Oh, knocked down. He floats that over to that lineman, though. They had wide open field with that one.
So still games we're keeping an eye on. Hobart and Lowell. Hobart up 28-15 over the Red Devils. Michigan City up 21-14, but the Slicers trying to make some magic happen over there in Slicer country. Maryville up 45-7 over the Munster Mustangs. As we wait with anticipation to see what happens in this Crown Point game. Ball forward. I believe that's going to be a fumble. And I believe the pickup by Penn.
I don't know. I mean, according to NFL rules, it might be a arm going forward.
Yeah, but the ball was out of the hand as the arm was going forward. So I believe they're going to rule that a fumble.
No, there's no reviews.
No reviews in high school. That's it. I think that is it for the Bulldogs.
Yeah. No, He was throwing the pass and he got tipped. His ball got tipped, whether it was. Yeah. Looked like he was trying to throw it, but who knows? Penn's got the ball on the 2-yard line.
Was it an interception? No.
Fumble.
Fumble. Oh. How pointed the ball for 1?
No.
They ran it.
They couldn't get anything going after Penn fumbled a field goal.
Yeah.
So the time going to continue to wind down here. We are just over a minute, 65 seconds remaining. You can hear the moans and groans here at the Athletic Performance Factory, wanting the Crown Point Bulldogs to get the victory. But it is not looking promising for the Bulldogs right now, trailing by 4 now with 50 seconds left to go. Other games were, as we mentioned, still keeping an eye on Hobart and Lowell. Hobart up 28-15. That's in the fourth. The other games in the fourth.
Yeah, we may have an update. I think Michigan City just fumbled the ball at around the 17-yard line of their own end zone, and Laporte is about to be knocking on the door with a 1st and 10. I think Laporte just recovered a fumble from Michigan City. So that's another game we're keeping an eye on here in Northwest Indiana. Crazy game going on at Slicer Field. Again, there's still plenty of time on the clock with 8:37 left in the fourth quarter. We'll pop it up on this monitor. What do we got? Real shortly. So it is a final for the Crown Point Bulldogs. They have been defeated in the sectional championship by Penn 28-24.
So 2 and 4 fall in 6A. Oh, it's 21-14. I didn't realize it was that close.
Yep, Justin gave us that update just a moment ago. So this is our standalone video game. So we would like to, with 7:30 left to go, and the Slicers trying to make some magic happen over in Slicer country, we'd like to... Sorry, we have the Hobart Lowell is our other... Is that our other video game that we have?
Yeah.
Yes, that is our other video broadcast we do have. Hobart is up 35-15 over the Lowell Red Devils with 7:17 left in the fourth quarter. Do want to keep an eye on this Michigan City Laporte game because it's down to the wire really late.
And I believe we have a Slicer touchdown to tie the game. Well, to bring it within 1. They are a PAT point away. They were down at one point 21-0 and are clawing their way back against the Wolves of Michigan City.
Yep, and Laporte's, I don't know if you've stated this earlier, but Laporte's last sectional title was in 2014. Yeah, I believe they did go to state that year in 5A.
And the extra point is good, so the Slicers come all the way back, and they are tied here in the fourth quarter with just under 7 minutes left to go. Impressive for the Laporte Slicers. They got some magic going on. We were pointing out that they've got 4 wins on the year. They're looking at 5 right now. They've got 4 wins the last 3 seasons previously combined. So there is some magic happening over there in Laporte right now. We're going to step aside, and you are watching the RSN Zone here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Old Man Winter is just around the corner, and that means temperatures will soon begin to drop. And a region winter is not the time to be left out in the cold. The professionals at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling can tune up that old furnace or install a new unit that can last for years. Your family deserves to stay comfortable this winter, and with 24/7 emergency service, comfort is just a phone call away. Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, 219-923-4441. Or for more info, the website is forajobdoneright.com.
Earn while you learn from the best hands in the business. The Bricklayers Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. That's right, this is a paid apprenticeship.
I'm getting an education while learning a trade and getting paid for it.
The thing that surprised me the most about this apprenticeship program is the respect I've received after the proper time and training.
Classes start soon, so apply now. There are training centers throughout Indiana and Kentucky. We are the Bricklayers and Allied Craftworkers for Indiana, Kentucky Apprenticeship. The best hands in the business.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
Calling all current and future homeowners in the Northwest Indiana area. Whether you're buying or selling, Brent Wright is here to make your real estate journey smooth and successful. With years of experience, personalized service, and a deep knowledge of the market, Brent will help you find the perfect place or get the best deal for your property. Call today at 219-406-7195 and take the first step toward your real estate goals. Contact Brent Wright, the right way to buy and sell real estate.
Welcome back to the RSN Zone here on the Region Sports Network. A couple close games we are keeping an eye on right now. Talk about a barn burner right now. You got LaPorte and Michigan City all knotted up at 21. Hobart still in action against the Lowell Red Devils. That's in the fourth quarter as well.
And then you got what? Maryville's walking away with
against the Munster Mustangs. Yep. Yeah, that sectional has belonged to Maryville. They're looking for their 7th sectional championship in a row. That's sectional number 9 that we're referring to.
We just looked it up at the break. Last time LaPorte won a sectional championship, it's 2014. 4-5 going into the playoffs. Made a run to state, eventually losing to Indianapolis Cathedral in the state championship that year. You know, so again, we talked about it earlier. Anything's possible with the new season.
Absolutely.
You know, and these kids are probably bubbling, oozing with confidence right now with the big stops and forcing turnovers from Michigan City. And then, you know, some of these people probably on the Michigan City side are getting not panic mode, but just getting to the here we go again kind of thing. You know, where Michigan City just can't get over that hump.
So we're taking a look at that LaPorte Michigan City game, see what might happen out there. As the Wolves are into Slicer territory now.
You know, and you're getting back to the Crown Point Pen. Yeah, it's disappointing for Crown Point that they lost in the sectional championship. You know, you got goals and high hopes of making a run at the state. But
down the field in Michigan City will take the lead, barring a penalty. Doesn't look like there is one. So Michigan City going to take the lead here by a score.
Hard
with
to
just
McKinney.
over 4 minutes left. And, well, we're going to go ahead and promote our 2 games that are remaining here. We've got Hobart and Lowell. You can go onto the IHSAA Champions Network to watch the conclusion of that one on the video stream. We've also got a silent broadcast of this Michigan City LaPorte game, so you can take a look at that silent scoreboard, excuse me. So the the game you can follow there as Michigan City just took the lead. The PAT is also up and good. So we're going to go ahead and end this RSN Zone stream. For Matt Skura, Michael Brandner here. You have been watching the RSN Zone here on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Welcome to Diamond Plate, your new go-to sports bar with a casual vibe and elevated ballpark favorites. Dig into hand-breaded chicken tenders, juicy burgers, build your own pizzas, and don't forget our full bar stocked with local favorites and everyday classics. Located inside Athletic Performance Factory. Diamond Plate brings the fun with multi-sport simulators, duck pin bowling lanes, plus party space for birthdays, holidays, company outings, and fundraisers. Diamond Plate, where every bite, every sip, and every play is a win.
For 26 years, Armor Construction has been beautifying homes across Northwest Indiana. From expert roofing and durable siding to eye-catching custom copper work, Armor Construction does it all with the highest quality and integrity. Serving Lake, Porter, and LaPorte counties, trust the best exterior construction company in Northwest Indiana to protect your investment. At American Testing Services, based in Hobart, Indiana, we specialize in NDT drone inspections and heat treatment services for local mills, fab shops, and facilities across the country. From Northwest Indiana to nationwide, we deliver precision, safety, and reliability. American Testing Services, America's trusted name in NDT.
Life isn't always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet moments that matter the most. Of effort, of a dream taking root. And behind those moments, there's trust. Thank you for trusting Centier Bank with those moments and making us a part of your story. Thank you for the opportunity to earn your trust.
At Blyce, we're used to having the athlete shop at our store.
Down, sit, put.
But sometimes they get carried away. Blyce, this is where the athlete shops.